This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
One of the best programs in high school basketball in this state is the Northside Grizzlies. 2 championships the last 6 years, also a state runner-up. You also have the 11 titles overall. Many of you know about Ron Brewer's undefeated season when he was a Northside Grizzly. That job recently came open, and it was just occupied recently by McKenzie Pierce, former Blytheville head coach, who now joins us on the phone line. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. I kind of just listed the accolades there, what the Grizzlies program has built up over time. How attractive was the job with just the legacy that Northside basketball has in this state?
Well, yeah, it's a big-time job. And first of all, Tommy, Todd, thank you for having me on this morning. Look forward to doing this several more times throughout the years. But obviously, you said it. It's one of the best basketball programs in the state. It's a place where year in and year out, you're going to have an opportunity to do special things and coach special young men. And that's why I'm here. I know to most people probably in this side of the state, which I've been fortunate to live 6 years before and many years ago, but Blytheville may not sound like the best place in the world, but we've had a lot of success as a basketball program. A lot of talent comes through there, great community that really supports. And so I always said it was going to take a really special job to get me out of there. I've had some opportunities throughout the years for some pretty good schools that most people from the outside looking in would have said, you need to take those jobs and get out of Blytheville. But it was going to take a top 5 job in the state to get me out of there, and Northside is certainly that. And I think it has the potential to be the number 1 job in the state. And so me and my family are just extremely fortunate to be here and be in this position, and we can't wait to get to work for Northside and those young men in the Fort Smith community.
McKenzie Pierce, new head boys basketball coach at Fort Smith Northside, with us here on the McClarty-Daniel hotline. I mean, Coach, my son's already in football practice. I know teachers are reporting, and you're making a job move in August. What is that like? Because this isn't exactly the ideal time of the year, probably for the school or for you, to be making a move at this point.
Yeah, it's been hectic. It's been very chaotic. Last Friday, me and my wife got the confirmation that this was going to happen. We got back to Blytheville at about 1 a.m. Saturday, and then started packing up 7 years of our life and rode into Fort Smith Monday about the same time at midnight, and woke up and got started yesterday. So it's been hectic, but I think God's timing is always right. There was just a lot of little signs throughout the process that just, although this is hectic trying to find a house, we've got a 5-year-old who will start kindergarten, and there's 19 elementary schools here. At Blytheville, there's 1 elementary school. You know where you're going. So just the little things like that. But, this past weekend, King Cotton was going on back at Blytheville, which is a huge golf tournament. I have several kids that play college basketball. They were in between summer session, fall session, so they were all back home. And so it's just little signs like that where I was able to see a lot of people this past weekend before I got out of there. Be able to come, and yes, feel a little behind the 8 ball, just trying to make so many things happen in a short period of time. But hey, at the end of the day, we know it's all worth it. It's one thing at a time, just like I'm going to tell my guys throughout the many years. It's one thing, one step at a time, and so that's how me and my wife are trying to approach it. But we're super excited to be here and get everything moving. And I'm not going to lie. Could probably fast forward through the next couple of weeks until we get actually settled in. But we're happy to be here and can't wait to get to work for these guys in this community.
no one likes living out of a cardboard box, so we feel you there. McKenzie Pierce, I know there's people listening. McKenzie Pierce, I know that name. If for those that have paid close attention to the Razorback basketball program, if you go back a few years, you were on staff as a graduate assistant, got some ties going back to John Pelfrey and Mike Anderson's days. Kind of walk through that, because I know there's some in our audience that are probably familiar with your name and are trying to piece all that back together in their mind.
Right, so I actually went to Arkansas State out of high school to play baseball, and that didn't work out for me. I always loved basketball. That was always kind of my favorite sport. And so after baseball didn't work out for me, I transferred up to the University of Arkansas in 2009. And in 2010, I got on as a manager with John Pelfrey for his last year and a half there. And then Coach Anderson came in, and I'll tell you, there's events that happen throughout your life that you just look back and go, I wouldn't be here today without this person, without this event. And that one of those events for me was certainly Coach Anderson taking over as the head men's basketball coach at the University of Arkansas. And I finished my senior year as a manager for him, and then was hired on as a graduate assistant coach for Coach Anderson. And so we had some great teams. I was with him his first 3 years as part of the team that went to Rupp Arena and silenced the Kentucky Wildcat fans for the first time in over 20 years at Rupp Arena, and able to be around some great players like Bobby Portis and Moses Kingsley, Marshawn Powell, B.J. Young, Kyle Madden, all those guys. So it was a great run. I learned a lot. If you watch me play, coach this year, it's not necessarily a Mike Anderson style. I don't know how much stuff X's and O's wise that I do that Coach did, but I learned a lot of great things from Coach as far as how to deal with people, how to build relationships, how to treat everybody you come in contact with each day the same way. And Coach has been so good for me, and I definitely wouldn't be here without him.
McKenzie Pierce is the new boys basketball coach at Fort Smith Northside. You're talking about a tradition-rich program at Fort Smith Northside. You don't have to walk far from if you found your new office yet. You won't have to walk far at the other end of the floor to find another coach that's got a lot of titles and a tradition-rich program. That's Ricky Smith down the hallway from you, who runs the girls basketball program. Have you had a chance to talk to Ricky yet? And what have you learned about one of the legends that have coached on the girls' side?
I have. So he reached out to me, I guess it was Monday night when I was headed to Fort Smith, and we had a good about 2-hour phone conversation, and we had got to meet each other yesterday morning face-to-face for the first time. Got to talk a little bit more. Actually going to head up there here shortly and go talk to him again today. But I'm going to tell you, I think me and him are going to get along just fine. And I really enjoyed talking to him. He obviously knows all the ins and outs of Fort Smith, and success speaks for itself. And, he's the type of coach that, I have aspirations to be like one day. I like winning. I like competing for championships. And obviously he's done that at the highest level for a very long time. And I know I have a lot that I can learn not only just learn from him, but lean on him throughout the next years and build that relationship with him to help me get this thing started.
Coach, you mentioned golf. What's your handicap?
Not very good. I can tell you that. I like to get out there and play a little bit. I probably don't play 3 or 4 times a year, but I don't mind getting out there and hitting the ball in the woods and people making fun of me. But I do enjoy getting out there and playing.
Okay, well, you can go play with Tommy for free on his account if you want to. If you want to do that, he'll take care of you.
Sign him up there, Ty.
Free golf is by far the best golf.
It's the best type of golf.
You don't want your basketball coach to be a scratch golfer. That's
that is true.
And if he is, you shouldn't admit it.
No doubt. Well, I'm not a very good one. If I break 90, it's a really, really good day on the golf course.
You're ahead of Ty already.
Well, Coach, I've never broken 100, so you already surpassed me. I want to ask about Jaylin and Isaiah. I mean, these are guys that Arkansas fans love and will love till the end of time. Both 2 Arkansas guys that elected to go up to Fayetteville, 2 Fort Smith guys that were just in town this past week, now playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, what kind of connection and how big is it that these guys are still drawn to the Fort Smith community and still care very much about not just Fort Smith, but Arkansas as a whole?
Well, I think it's huge. It's a huge asset for these kids, and obviously the basketball part for Jaylin and Isaiah both speak for themselves. We all know how good a basketball player. Obviously, they wouldn't be in the NBA. But I think the best part about it is how good of people they are. And, everybody knows Jaylin for his smile. Those guys are just so respectful. They're so humble for all they've accomplished. They just carry themselves just like normal human beings. And I think that's the biggest message that I can send to kids is just, hey, if you work hard and be a good person, anything can happen. And so they're just great ambassadors for those young men that, hard work, being a good person, treating people the right way. When you do those things, life gets a lot easier. And things like being able to play for the Arkansas Razorbacks, go to the NBA, are possible for a kid from Fort Smith. And like I said, they're big-time people. Obviously, we know they're big-time basketball players, but those two dudes are just unbelievable men and great ambassadors and role models for these kids.
Coach, you may just touched on it. We'll get you out of here on this. I mean, every coach has 2 or 3 foundation blocks that they want their program to be defined by. What is it that you want a McKenzie Pierce program to be defined by at Fort Smith Northside?
Well, I think on the basketball court, nobody better play harder than us. That's going to be the main thing. Is we're going to play our tails off. We're going to prepare to make sure we're in the best position possible to win the game. But I think off the floor, it's a very simple process. Just be a good person. Those are kind of my 2 main things. We live in a world today where everything is overanalyzed, overhyped, stimulated, and life just gets a lot simpler, and you become a lot more successful if you can just be a good person and work hard. And that's just kind of my message to these guys right now. Hey, let's just work hard at everything we do. Let's work hard in the classroom. Hey, be a great son at home. Be a great sibling at home. When we work on the court, go as hard as you can. When you're in biology class, be the best student that you can be. I just think life gets a lot simpler, and all successful people kind of have that in common. They're good people, and they work hard. If you can do those 2 things at whatever you want to aspire to be in life, you're going to go far and do well. And so that's just the 2 simple things that I'm going to continue to ingrain in these young men's head throughout the years.
Well, Coach, welcome to Fort Smith. Welcome to Western Arkansas. We got people listening, in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and lots of parts beyond. And I know they look forward to seeing your team develop here over the next several months. And we appreciate your time this morning here on the Morning Rush.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.